These MCQs could decide your next exam result. Ready to test yourself? There are how many laws of connectionism? Which of the following can affect the results of students in the examination? How shall you help a student who has failed in the half-yearly examination? Conferences may occur between. During facilitative questioning, the teacher passes. When a learner is studying simply because work is assigned by the teacher, he is doing. Roundtable discussion involves how many participants? Dash is a peer activity in which students have a short period, typically 30 seconds, to share all they know by writing in a graphic organizer. According to the law of effect, if a stimulus results in a negative outcome, the SR bond is. The brain dash as people gets older. An assessment that is generally carried out at the end of a course to assign students a course grade is called. Dialectic or dialectical method is a discourse between opposing parties to establish the truth through. Bloom's taxonomy is a set of how many learning domains? To break information into parts and to examine the information is called. Validity of an assessment relates to the dash of an assessment. Rousseau advocated an educational method which consisted of removing the child from. Plato believed that talent and intelligence are. The standard deviation is the of the variance. We calculate average marks of a student in the way as we calculate. The dash is a measure of how spreads out points are from the mean. Who advocated removing children from their mother's care and raising them as wards of the state? In case of spending money, the virtue is dash between wastefulness and stringiness. According to John Dewey, children should experience dash in school to make them better citizens. The law of effect can be effectively used in. A posteriori knowledge is knowledge that is known by. The book A Brief History of Time is written by. According to the law of effect, if a stimulus results in a positive outcome, the SR bond is. According to the dash, SR bonds are stronger if an individual is ready to learn. There is dash in working memory as people gets older. Which from the following is not a formal assessment? The cognitive domain involves good reading aims at developing success in developing values is mainly development upon how does an effective teacher make students attentive in class? Conferences are face-to-face. A written work by a student to demonstrate some literary or linguistic knowledge is termed as when the teacher checks students' work using multiple sources of information, the task is called when a learner is learning to satisfy his needs and wants, he is actually doing. In students formally present material then respond to questions from audience. All the verbal and nonverbal communications between teachers and students are called an old but effective teaching strategy is dash is method where students ask questions each other during presentations. The most important duty of a teacher is which of the following is not related to educational achievement? Reliability of an assessment relates to the dash of an assessment. The effective domain involves what was the relation between Socrates and Plato? In direct instruction method or lecture method, the teacher is considered as an assessment is dash if it consistently achieves the same results with the same, or similar, students. As people gets older, the ability of applying or maintain attention according to the dash, the more you do something, the better you are at it. The advocates of philosophy of pragmatism believe that reality is a popular teacher is one who an assessment that is conducted prior to the start of teaching or instruction is called the models based on the philosophy that learning occurs when there are changes in mental structure are called rather than telling, Teacher leads students to concept through a series of ordered questions in Waldorf education approach emphasizes a balanced development of the extinction technique of classroom management is a technique where teacher - any negative behavior. A common technique to help people begin the creative process is assessment is one which measures what it is intended to measure. According to John Dewey, educational process has two sides. Epistemology is the branch of philosophy concerned with the theory of the simplest skill in cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy is the cooperative learning method, which combines whole class learning plus heterogeneous small groups, is termed as one-on-one approach to teaching or reteaching concepts is termed as the - says we are motivated to gain rewards and avoid punishments. According to the philosophy of idealism in education, the subject matter of curriculum should be according to the theory of forms, or theory of ideas, material world is - of the real world. The skill when students try to build abstract knowledge is called according to Aristotle, virtue is - state between excess and deficiency. The process of selecting units from a population to estimate characteristics of the population is called an aspect of pragmatism is experiential learning, which says, education should come through the use of a physical punishment for class management is called an assessment that is carried out through the course is called in John Dewey's student-centered approach of learning, the role of the teacher is of a which one is not among the elements of active learning. Which of these skills do you consider extremely important for a teacher? The instructional approach in which objectives are presented to learners in chronological order is known as a good teacher is one who